Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. So yeah, anyway, let's get on to the tweets. Starting off strong with Ben Zeisloft, who says, the state must legislate Christian morality.
No, Ben.
No,
it must not.
That's how you get Afghanistan.
That's how you says it
Iraq.
wasn't 18, it was 16. Fair enough.
But
remember, people like Steven Anderson are completely and totally for the idea of a theocracy, so long as they get to kill the gays. That's the thing he cares about.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but like, I don't know. We joke about like play a game where everybody turns to a random page in the Bible, reads a verse, does exactly what that verse says, and the last person to go to jail wins.
Jesus Christ.
Both Fuentes and Andrew Tate have said it's gay to have sex / relationships with women. Andrew Tate has also said that it would be more gay to have sex with an ugly woman than a hot trans woman.
He did say that. That one was
just scooch the dick.
Yeah, just scooch it. Just scooch it.
I have seen that clip.
That is one of the best clips on the internet.
I was just grossed out by the fact that it was Andrew Tate.
I want to agree with you 110% because he's a piece of shit.
It's the same reason, like, I find this very funny.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking now.
But because of who's saying it, everybody's like, yeah, no, that would be funny if it was not that guy saying it. But yeah.
Vigorous spankings.
I don't think that gay is a transitional property. Do you mean transitive property? I don't know. I say, you know what? Society just needs to do away with labels like that. Just have sex with the people you want to have sex with and don't worry about the label.
It would be easier.
Is it gay to do X? I don't know. Do you want to do X? Then what does it matter? Just do it. Don't worry about it.
I want to agree with you, but on the other hand, human beings and shorthand communication go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Like, we like shortcutting things, and so if we can shortcut, yes, I happen to like people who are masculine and usually have penises, to just, I'm gay.
Yeah, but
that's
I mean,
what people are going to do.
I could saw a t-shirt the other day that says homophobia is fucking gay. Sure. Alex Markle says the pansexual. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I don't see the point in there. Like I will have sex with the people that I want to have sex with. I don't like, what does the label matter? Just have the sexy time. It feels good when people touch dick. So just let the people touch the dick. Yeah, assuming consent and all that. Yeah.
Hey, when I started my channel, I could not honestly answer you if I would suck girl dick. I can now honestly answer you that I have sucked girl dick and will do it again.
We know Rhino would have sex with a clone of himself. Yep, that has been adjudicated very thoroughly on this channel. I mean, one would say not thoroughly enough until I get a clone of myself here, am I right?
It's not thoroughly enough until I finish.
Oh, you don't know that I didn't finish. Bottom half of me is not visible. Anyway, moving on. Benny Schetz. Okay, so this was...
Again?
Well, I actually interact with Ben. So, like, it's funny because I can actually, like, tell the stories of the interactions or whatever. So, Godless Engineer had posted a picture of the United States that had, like, the Democratic places were labeled as Democratic and the Republican places were labeled as Dumbfuckistan. Which I thought was kind of funny, a little bit reductionist, but yeah, still funny. And Ben was like, "Oh, do you think it's productive to be like insulting half the country?" And I forget what I said to him, but it was just basically like, "Yeah, no, you guys like, it was something along the lines of like, I remember when Bill Clinton was in office and all the Christians, I was one of them at the time, including me, were freaking out because like, oh, he did a blowjob thing in the White House, and like, personal failings are going to work their way into how he runs the country. If he is not a man of integrity in his personal life, we can't expect him to be a man of integrity in his political life. Therefore, he is not suited to run the country. That was the argument. I remember that argument because I was making that argument because that was my viewpoint at the time. So I pointed out that like, you guys literally just elected a fascist, womanizing, sexual assaulting rapist as the leader, to be the most powerful person in the world. And like, I was just kind of calling out the hypocrisy there. Like, I remember when a blowjob was too much, whereas this guy has cheated on every single wife that he's had. He's raped a bunch of people. There are a bunch more sexual, like, it's a matter of court record that he raped at least one person, and there's a bunch more sexual assault allegations out there. He was buddies with Epstein. He like flew on Epstein's jet even after Epstein was dead. So like, and this was Ben's response to me pointing that out, and he's like, this is a really unintelligent response. So first off, I'd like to just enjoy the irony of him complaining that John called people unintelligent, because that's not nice, that's not polite. And so his response is, that's an unintelligent response when I point out his hypocrisy. And he says, the alternative to Trump was a woman whose only accomplishment was sleeping her way to the top. Even if that's true, okay, first off, that is not true. But even if it were, would sleeping your way to the top not be way better than a felonious convicted rapist, convicted felon who is an open fascist? Like, even just looking at the sex stuff, yeah, sure, Trump didn't sleep his way to the top, but he's cheated on every single one of his wives. He's raped people. He's on record saying he wants to fuck his daughter. He's like, he is on record having said to Jeffrey Epstein, about Jeffrey Epstein, that like, oh, he likes women really, really young, just like me. Like, just those are two completely different things there. Like, even if her only accomplishment was sleeping her way to the top, that still puts her ahead of Trump by miles. But it's also not true. She's a very accomplished woman. I don't even know where that accusation came from. I think it's just the fact that she is a woman in a position of power. Therefore, that must be how she got there. And then he says, we were left with no moral option in terms of sexual ethics. Yeah, but one was a lot worse than the other one, and that's the one you chose. Yeah. As far as the felonies, they were escalated to misdemeanor. Okay, how do you escalate a felony to a misdemeanor? That's not how it works.
No. Don't you understand? He's trying to give you an intelligent responbut why don't you
like words? But those words don't
response.
I know what all those words mean, but in that order, they don't mean anything. But I think what he's trying to say is that they escalated them to the point where they were crimes so they could be illegally tried. Motherfucker, he was keeping national secrets in an unlocked bathroom at his country club where enemies of the state have been documented just being there regularly. And then suddenly a bunch of American spies whose information would have been contained in some of those documents started dying. So, like, if that's not a crime, it should be. So I don't think a person is a felon if they are prosecuted illegally. It's like, well, I don't give a fuck what you think. He's a felon by the definition of the word. He was convicted of felonies, therefore he is a felon.
Therefore he's a felon.
Like, that's just the way the word works. And most of America feels the same way. I doubt that. Like, yeah, like, he won, and he did win the popular vote this time somehow, for fuck's sake. But still, like, what was the number? Like, he got like 71 million votes this time around, something around there, like 70 million. Yeah. That's not most of America. Like, America's got, what's the population? Like 370 million, something like that right now?
I thought it was 330 million, but I might be wrong.
U.S. population. 337 million.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was closer to 330. But there is a 7 in there.
Yeah, so that's like 20% of the country. So 20% of the country voted for him. It's a distressingly high number. And yeah, what the fuck are all those people that are staying home doing? Like, that's a lot of people that could have gone out to say, no, we don't want the fascist, who were just like, I don't care. And that is concerning. But they didn't, that doesn't mean they feel the same way. And I would posit that most of those people, if you ask them, is Trump a felon, would probably answer with a yes, because he was convicted of a felony. That's my assumption. I still have a base level of hope for humanity. It's buried deep right now, but it's still there. And then he says, but calling us dumb fucks because we disagree is immature and immoral. Wouldn't you agree? Okay, but like, you opened with, this is a really unintelligent response. Like, yeah, sure, that's not as impolite as calling someone a dumb fuck, but like, it's the same thing. Like, you didn't use a swear. Do you want a medal? You did the same thing that you're complaining that John did. You just did it without a swear. Good job.
It's so rude that you used the fuck word.
Okay, so would you rather I label... Okay, let's redo the map and make it unintelligentistan. Does that make it better?
The spirit of the argument is still there.
Yeah, just as it is right here, where he says it's a really unintelligent response. The spirit is the same.
Yep.
So, pot, meet, kettle.
Hello, Pot. My name's Kettle. I'm black.
Pastor Mark Driscoll says, wait, only two genders and men and women are different? Feels binary or biblical. And this was with response to the guy that was chosen to run the Department of Defense Secretary, whatever, the Fox News anchor that he picked to run the military, for fuck's sake. He apparently like went on CNN last week and was like, women shouldn't be in combat roles.
But why? What is the significant difference between us when you have a gun?
It's harder to aim with boobs.
High School of the Dead taught me that's not true.
I wouldn't know. I've never shot a gun. Not a real one.
I own a few. But no,
you live in Georgia. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. There's an anime called High School of the Dead where one of the women on the main character's team, who is a sniper in the zombie apocalypse, apparently learns how to fire her bullets in such a way that another woman can twist her boobs around the bullets in midair. So that the bullets can decapitate zombies.
Why the fuck not?
It is such a... God, I hate saying it's a good show or that it's a bad show. It's neither. It's a what the fuck show.
It's Schrodinger's show. It's
it's
neither good nor bad until it's observed.
It's a show that needs to be watched at some point if you haven't. It's very weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So this is one of the things I found while I was hunting for Elon Musk's response for earlier. So Adam Schiff says, first the Supreme Court granted a president immunity for weaponizing the Justice Department. Now Donald Trump wants to appoint Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. Confirming him would mean affirming the worst potential abuse of the Department of Justice. He must be rejected by the Senate, obviously. And obviously he won't be. So this meme account posts a screenshot from Starship Troopers, with the Neil Patrick Harris touching the brain bug saying it's afraid, to which Elon Musk replies with a laughy face emoji and 100%. I'm just like, I want people to like take a basic media interpretation course and then watch Starship Troopers, because like, yeah, it's very easy to watch it and just see a stupid person versus alien shoot 'em up movie and not really read much into it. But like, if you put any amount of thought into it whatsoever, it is very clearly a commentary on the fascist use of propaganda. Like how fascism uses propaganda to make things, because like,
what are you talking about? It just means service guarantees citizenship. That's all.
Well, yeah, but like, look at how they portray the war versus what we actually see of the war in the movies. The humans are clearly losing this war.
We are very heavily propagandized, but don't worry, I'm doing my part.
They're clearly losing, but all the propaganda says that they're winning. And then like this whole thing, it culminates in this moment where they don't actually defeat the enemy. Because defeating the enemy wouldn't work for fascism, because you need there to always be an enemy to focus on. So they don't actually defeat the enemy. They just scare the enemy. And that is the moment of triumph. That is the moment of propaganda that they use. That's the culmination of the movie, is we have scared our enemy. They are afraid of us. And that is good. But then like you follow the movie, like you follow in past that part of the movie, and now it's, you see the battles are still happening. They don't have any tactical advantage from having captured the brain bug. They're not winning the war now. Everything still sucks. They're still in a fascist state, but it's afraid. So like,
it has experienced fear, therefore.
Yeah. So like it's a very clear commentary on how fascist regimes use propaganda. And then the fucking fascist regime pops in to be like, that's funny, 100%. Because he doesn't understand how to interpret media.
Or he knows and doesn't care.
Yeah, well, no, I wouldn't give him that much credit. I don't think he's smart enough for that.
It's not that I think you're wrong. In fact, I'm pretty certain you're correct.
Yeah, and it's like, they couldn't have made it more clear. Like, look at the fucking uniform, man. Like, that's a Nazi. That is a Nazi uniform. Like, they use slightly different, what's it called? The insignia.
Colors?
Slightly different insignia, but like, it's a straight up Nazi uniform. Like, it's not subtle. It is not a subtle movie.
Paige just said, I'm dying internally now because I just learned that Matt Gaetz got nominated to lead the Department of Justice. Yeah, no, it's the fucking thing that everybody said was going to happen in Project 2025.
Well, no, we were worried about Eileen Cannon leading the Department of Justice. I think Matt Gaetz is actually worse than that.
Well, no, not the specific person, just the Donald Trump flunky being put in the position.
Yeah, that seems to be the qualifications he's looking for, is how much did you suck my dick? And what was it, Nikki Haley that he turned down?
I think so. Yeah,
because Nikki Haley, although she did really, really try to suck his dick, and not in the slept her way to the top way that they all say about Kamala. I mean that in the same way I mean it with Matt Gaetz, is that like just sucking up to him. But there was a time not all that long ago where she was running against him, where she was actually like saying true things about him. But she was trying to play both sides because she knew she wasn't going to win the nomination, but and she wanted to like kind of keep the door open, but she had to like actually make it look like she was trying. And yeah, it's it didn't work out for her because she wasn't as unquestionably loyal as everybody else needs to be in order to get their appointments.
Is it, just out of curiosity, how much do you think being a woman negatively contributes to your ability to get elected as president of the United States right now?
Quite a bit.
Because
I think that was a big part of it, because like a lot of people have been hearing the DEI language, and so they saw Harris as the DEI pick because she's a woman of color. Like, and when I posted that meme, the Anakin Skywalker meme, where it was like, you have a choice between a fascist and a woman of color. And the rest of the world's like, you chose the woman of color, right?
Right?
Right? You chose the woman of color. When I posted that on Twitter, I got a bunch of responses from people being like, oh, you shouldn't choose someone to lead the country just because she's a woman of color.
Nobody said it was just because of that.
Even if it was, though, if your other choice is fascism, you choose the woman of color, even if that is the only reason you're choosing the woman of color. Because that's not fascism. Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people are just like, they saw her as, she's like, they only want us to vote for her because she's a woman, nothing else, even though that is absolutely not the case. Okay, my chat on my end is frozen, so where is that? Refresh. The right have no media literacy, also press like everyone. Oh, I read that as press as in like Associated Press or something, like the media or whatever. It's like, nope, you're telling people to press the like button. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I forget what I was saying. Anyway, next tweet. J.K. Rowling. This is just like, mwah, chef's kiss. Says, I've said it before, but nobody ever realizes they're Umbridge, and yet she's the most common type of villain in the world. Would someone like to give J.K. a mirror?
She kind of looks like Umbridge these days, not gonna lie. Just
yeah. But like,
I recognize that's just a low blow, but I don't feel like it's untrue.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen recent pictures of her because I mostly ignore her. Like, I saw someone else post the screenshot and was like, I don't follow JK. I don't have, because most of the time I'm just like, no, it's just bullshit. I don't need to see her bullshit. And for twit tweets, it's usually too depressing or whatever. But like, this was just funny. I couldn't not pull this. I'm like, you know, it's you, right? Like, this is how the trans community sees you. Like, I don't know. Like, I've been hearing people equate her with Umbridge for years now. So to have her just come out and say something like this is just like, oh my God.
This is a rare moment of introspection.
No,
nope,
it's not
mind,
introspection.
It's not. That's why I had the quick correction after the. I was like, wait, nope, never mind. It's not. Nothing to see here.
She's got beef with David Tennant recently because he got an award for being a trans ally. I think we covered that. Because he got the award and he basically said, fuck you to, it wasn't her. It was like someone in the British government who was being super anti-trans. And so J.K. Rowling, like, said her piece about Tennant. And yeah, he just wasn't having it because he's a good human being.
What if we just don't care what her piece is? What if we just stopped caring?
But what if your partner has herpes? You need to stop the spread. I'm sorry. I know you said her. I know you said her piece, but I heard herpes.
Sometimes we hear what we want to hear.
Yeah, and when I think of J.K. Rowling, genital warts come to mind.
The only people who love J.K. are bug chasers.
Yeah. Brian D. Meeks says, oh yeah, so this was...
I'm going to have to explain what a bug chaser is to somebody in my chat. I fucking know it.
Yeah, I don't know what a bug chaser is.
It's somebody who purposefully sleeps with people so as to accumulate STDs.
People like that exist?
It's a weird fetish, but it is a fetish that exists.
I don't know what to do with this information. So anyway, this tweet of Rowling's was in a thread that started with her talking about how she is on the left.
Queen Voldemort.
Sure. So she claims that she's on the left. And so this person said, the left hates you. Why do you still identify with that side? It's interesting to me when folks do this, but it's especially interesting when the greatest writer of the last 50 years does. What?
How the fuck is she the greatest writer in the last 50 years? Just because it's the only book you read when you were a kid.
Like, I'm currently, like, I know I've been reading this book for ages, but I'm a slow reader because I get distracted and I put the book down for a while and then I pick it back up in like a couple months. So like I'm still plugging away at it, but like I'm reading Catherine Valente's The Orphan's Tales. I'm on the second book now, The City of Coin and Spice. Fantastic books. Her prose is just beautiful. Like every sentence of the book is a joy to read. I have never read an author that has this way with words, and it's amazing, and I love it. And she's still alive. She's still writing books. Like I think these books were published in like 2005, something like that. So like, I'd put Catherine Valente way the fuck above J.K. Rowling. And like yeah, Scott D is saying Terry Pratchett. Yeah, Terry Pratchett. Also way above J.K. Rowling.
Jim Butcher is way above J.K. Rowling as well. Can't
say I've read any of Jim Butcher.
In specifics, he's the guy who did Dresden Files.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
like...
what was Vonnegut writing? Sorry, Dresden
Also,
makes me think of Vonnegut.
also, fucking Anne McCaffrey. Dragon Riders
Uh,
of Pern is a way better and more expansive series than Harry Potter.
Kurt Vonnegut was writing all the way up till 2007. So, yeah, he's a way better author. I don't think J.K. Rowling could barely keep track of the time travel story that she put in one of her books, to a point where to make sure it never came back, she had Neville literally accidentally knock all of them off the shelf. Like, oh,
And-
why? What are you going to do with this time travel mechanic you've introduced? Oh, it fell off the shelf and broke.
And all of the dragon riders in Pern can time travel, all several thousand of them.
My point is comparing how J.K. Rowling deals with time travel to, like, Slaughterhouse-5. And, like, there's no way she would have been able to write anything close to that. So,
Wait
like,
a minute. Yeah. I have a time travel one I could throw at her. Sonic the Hedgehog on the fucking Xbox 360 did time travel better than J.K. Rowling.
People are bringing up Chuck Tingle. So much. Chuck Tingle is probably a better author than J.K. Rowling. George R.R. Martin, yeah, I'd agree with that. Love him or hate him,
So much
he's
so
better
that
than.
So much so that
I'm
the
not
villain
even...
from that game is finally back.
I'm not even saying, like, you can think, like, okay, when I first read the Harry Potter books, I enjoyed them. I
still reread them. I still enjoy them.
Yeah, I wouldn't classify them as like high art literature type stuff, but they're fun little stories. There's a lot of stuff that like didn't make sense. Like the whole wands choose the wands choose the wizards was introduced originally, but like it was kind of dropped and forgotten about until at the very end. Suddenly, like there's this whole mechanic about if you disarm a wizard, you now own their wand according to their wand sort of thing. And like that just came out of fucking nowhere and made no sense whatsoever. And then like
that meant that every single time they were learning how to duel for their wizard duels in book 2, every single time they used Expelliarmus, they were reclaiming the fucking wands.
Did J.K. Rowling write as Robert Galbraith intending to not be seen as J.K. Rowling? Like,
yes.
Was she intending that to actually be like...
As far as I know, yes.
I just assumed there was something weird going on. Or like, I didn't know that she was actually trying to do that as a secret. Okay. Isaac Asimov, was he active in the last 50 years? Yeah, probably. But
I have no mouth, but I must scream.
Yeah, no, so many better writers.
Like, there's so many.
Yeah.
Fucking Christy Golden. I like
whoever fucking wrote all the dialogue for Oregon Trail. All right. That's enough dunking on Rowling.
Is it ever enough dunking on Rowling?
No, it's not. I could dunk on Rowling all night.
Like,
I can't come unless I'm dunking on Rowling.
Look, I will say this. I made the joke about the story in Sonic 06 being better than Harry Potter, but like, I'm happy that the villain from 06 came back after 20 fucking years. I know you haven't played any Sonic games in the recent years at all, so...
Last one I played was the one on the Sega Genesis that had the Green Hills zone or whatever.
So Sonic 1?
Sure. Was that the first one?
That was the first one. Green Hill is 1, Emerald Hill is 2.
That was the last one that I played then.
You know, the events of Sonic 06 on the Xbox 360 were erased from the Sonic timeline, but then like a time anomaly happens in Shadow Generations, which just came out. And so the villain from that game comes back literally screaming, going, I just want to exist. I just want to exist. Because he technically doesn't exist anymore. He's been erased. Okay. Not even dead. Erased.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There were some things from the, like... So the movies tried to fix a bunch of things from the Harry Potter books. But there were a couple times where, like, they forgot to set things up for future things. I saw the movies before I read the books for most of them. I was so fucking confused about the piece of glass that Harry suddenly kept in his sock that just had no origin whatsoever in the movies and was not explained. It was just like, what the fuck? Why does he keep pulling a shard of glass out of his sock and keep looking at it and not like there was nothing really clearly seen in it ever.
Oh, in book 7?
Yeah. Like the one
where like in the book you
it was
could tell
Dumbledore's
that,
brother or whatever.
Yeah, in the book that was Aberforth.
Yeah. No,
but he
no,
thought
it was that in the
Dumbledore.
movie too, but like the book actually kind of set it up. Like
yeah, the book explained that he was constantly looking at it because he thought that it was like Dumbledore stuck in another dimension or some shit.
Yeah, but like
and then he found out it was Aberforth.
Yeah, but Rosina says, "For Cirrus, follow me, set me free, trust me, and we will escape from the city." Is that supposed to rhyme?
That is, yeah. You're rolling around at the speed of sound. You got places to go. You got to follow your rainbow. I get it.
It's from the broken mirror that Sirius gave him. Yeah, but Sirius never gave him anything in the movie. They skipped that. They cut that for time, and then they kept all the camping montages. And so I was just confused when it showed up. And I had no idea. Like, I actually had to go and rewatch the previous movie because I'm like, where did that come from? Why is that such an important plot point now? And like, yeah, no, it was... There were aspects of that series that could have been translated better.
Yeah, it's kind of like my issues with the... did you ever read the Hunger Games books and then watch the movies?
Again, I think I saw the movies first and then did the books.
So I read the books first and then watched the movies, and I still think that movie 1 is one of the worst interpretations of a book ever. Movie 2 and like the next movies did a fantastic job, but movie 1 felt like instead of this one woman's internal monologue and crisis over having to kill one of the few people who ever showed her a kindness in an unjust world, that was the narrative from book 1. But the narrative from the movie was this woman's one-person war against the dreaded capital, which isn't the fucking plot of the film. That's the fake plot that Coin cooks up for her as a propagandist.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the real plot of the first fucking movie.
Yeah. Fennec says, why do you do things backwards? Book first, then movies always. I agree, Fennec. However, in the case of Harry Potter, I think that was just laziness more than anything. Like, I had read the first couple books, and then I was just like, eh. Like, I it goes to saying, like, whether she's a compelling author or not. I lost interest in the books, and movies are just easier, so I just, like, whatever, and eventually I came back into the audiobooks. For Hunger Games, I didn't even know it was a book series until the movies were done. There was like, oh, yeah, that was a book series, so then I went and read the books. But yeah, and then there are other times, like, I put off watching Game of Thrones for years because I'm like, I'm going to wait for George R.R. Martin to finish writing the books, then I'm going to read the books first, and then I'll watch Game of Thrones. And that never happened. So eventually I did watch Game of Thrones. And yeah, now it's like the world has moved on to a point where it's like, even if he does publish that last book, probably no one's going to buy it.
So there was a time where Jimmy Snow made a comment about how if Harry Potter is still your favorite book series, then you probably don't read any books. And at the time, it was still kind of my favorite book series. So I got kind of upset at Jimmy for that. And then over time, I was like, no, I think I get it, because as I've met more people whose favorite book series is Harry Potter, they all kind of strike me as people who've never read a goddamn book. No, I get it. I actually get it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. So this is fun. Truth Shiro posted this certificate of achievement awarded to the unvaccinated for surviving the greatest psychological fear campaign in human history, with the words pure blood. I'd just like to point out that they're now giving themselves anti-participation awards.
They're also using racist terminology for themselves.
Well, yeah.
Who the fuck calls themselves a pure blood but a racist?
That's a given at this point. But I just, like, the same people that complain about the vaccine are the same kind of people who would rail against participation trophies and participation awards. And yet they're now giving themselves awards for not having participated in something. Like, and literally, you achieved something. You sat on your ass instead of going to a pharmacy and getting a 5-second ouchie.
Can we instead Rail Participation Trophy Chan.
What is
Somebody's probably made it.
Is that going to be like an anthropomorphized Rule 34 participation trophy?
I am just rolling the dice on the degenerate community I've cooked up over the years that somebody has thought of it at some point, and all that is left to do is to breathe life into this abomination.
It's going to be a Chuck Tingle book pounded in the butt by my participation trophy.
Oh my god, what is a participation trophy wife though?
I don't know. I'm not sure I want to know.
Is that a mail-in order bride?
I used to work with someone who was a mail order bride.
How was that experience for them?
Well, I mean, she was old, so I don't really know. But anyway, I just want to. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Okay. Oh, god damn it. Apparently WhatsApp never loaded the image, so now I have to get it on my phone. There it is. All right, so this is an actual title of a Chuck Tingle book. Pounded in the butt by my handsome sentient library card who seems otherworldly, but in reality is just a natural part of the priceless resources of our library system provides. I'm
going to be honest, that just sounds like the light novel name for an isekai.
Yeah, so anyway, like, my father was a librarian, so, like, I sent a picture to him, be like, this be a good Christmas present for you? He responded with, sure, sounds like a hard read, though. Just in case you were wondering where I got my sense of humor from.
Your dad jokes came from an actual dad?
They did.
Oh, no! You've become too powerful!
His are so much worse than mine. You think mine are bad. Come to Christmas dinner.
He's had a few years of experience on you, though.
Oh, yeah.
Give it some time. You'll get there. Don't worry.
He also likes narrative jokes. So, like, he has this one that, like, he'll tell the story of how, like, Yo-Yo Ma and Boutros Ghali went to New York, and sat down in the restaurant and ordered mahi-mahi, and, like, he just tells, like, this whole story where every single aspect of the story is some real world thing that is, like, just a double word like that. And it's just hilarious watching him start the story and then have all the kids groan and roll their eyes and be like, no, stop. It's great. Fennec says, I mean, your dad is now a granddad, so I feel like that makes the joke somehow more. Yeah, it does.
Oh, well.
And Rosina says there's a Chuck Tingle isekai book.
There better be.
Google it. I'm not doing that here.
You're not Googling isekai?
I'm not Googling Chuck Tingle isekai.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I think you've explained isekai to me before. I don't remember what it is, but I remember you explaining it to me.
Born again in another world.
Sure.
That's what it means. So one of my favorite jokes.
Explain it again.
One of my favorite jokes of all time is actually my favorite isekai novel is The Bible, or otherwise known as The Son of God, Born Again in Another World, but as a carpenter? Because another trope of that series is that they always have those stupidly long, overly descriptive names.
That sounds like a YouTube clickbait thing. The Son of God was born in another world, but as a carpenter? Oh, my headphones crapped out. Okay, I'm switching
Jesus
headphones.
Christ.
There we go. I'm corded now, but I don't know why that keeps happening. Probably because this, I don't actually have Bluetooth audio built into anything. So, it's like a cheap little dongle thing.
People are pointing out that Alice in Wonderland and The Wizard of Oz are both isekais. Yeah, they technically are isekais.
Hats off. Yeah.
They fit the bill.
I will figure out how hats work. Oh, Dark Falcon says, Humu... Okay, stop chatting. I need to be able to read this. It needs to stop moving while I'm trying to read it. Humu nukunu kua pua puaa. Humu humu nukunu kuapua'a is Hawaii's state fish. I feel like my pronunciation is not terrible on that. It's not good, but I feel like it's not terrible.
Could be worse isms.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Frank Turek says, why is natural marriage between one man and one woman good for society? First off, marriage is not natural. There's only one species on the planet that does marriage, and it's the one
Penguins.
species that the things that they do are definitionally not natural. So, yeah, ain't nothing natural about marriage. No, penguins don't marry.
Then what's the rock for?
Penguins just fuck anything that has a hole.
That's not that different than humans. You know that the one question we would have when we find aliens
necrophilia is a lot more common
them?
among penguins than it is among humans.
Are you sure about that? Or are you sure they just don't talk about it?
I want to believe that.
If you
I'm choosing
need to believe
that.
If you need to believe that.
Yeah, I believe that. I am believing that. Yeah, I was also going to... oh, yeah, so, like, natural marriage... like, he has to specify between one man and one woman, because he knows that, like, if you just say natural marriage, it'd be like, yeah, no, whatever. Like, it can be two men. Yeah, and, like, realistically, like, no, didn't mean to do that. Ah! Oh, no. Apparently I did that in a way that can't be undone. Oh, no, that's just a zoom in. Ah! What am I doing? I'm good at my job. I will stop clicking randomly.
I believe you, don't worry. I believe me too.
I believe in God the Father.
And the Holy Son?
Yeah. Do we know the same songs that are based on the same Apostles' Creeds found in the Bible? Yeah, no, but like, marriage as laid out in the Bible is not one man, one woman. It's one man and however many women he can afford to keep in his house.
I think in the Quran, it's like no more than 4 specifically. I don't remember though. It's been a while since I read it.
Oh, that sounds about right.
There's a bunch of like there's a bunch of weirdly specific laws in the Quran about marriage and like about how you're allowed to pass down your wealth and shit. And I just don't remember. I can't remember all of them. It's too much.
So the thing is, there are only 2 Bible verses that actually specify anything about number of women you're allowed to marry. And in both instances, it is specific to church leaders. So like deacons and elders are to only have one wife. Now, it can be inferred from that if this is the best way for a deacon and a church and an elder to live, then it's probably best for everybody as well, but it is not explicitly stated.
What's good for the deacon is good for the elder.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, look, if we're going to do what's good, I just wanted to do what's good for the goose is good for the gander joke.
I know. But what's funny is like I'm getting, my videos are getting all confused now. It was easier to keep things clear when I was doing my own editing because like I'd have to watch my own fucking video like 5 times so I know that that's that video. Whereas now it's like I just finished recording a video and now I'm scripting the next one, and so they kind of blend. But there's a video coming up, or last week's video, I don't remember which one it is, where he tries to he's talking about how like the way marriage is supposed to be according to the Bible is the one man, one woman, but God allowed for polygamy in the past because in that culture it was like basically the justification was that in ancient Israel a single woman or a widow was in a very bad situation socially. She'd be like a social pariah essentially. And so it was actually the proper thing to, like the kind thing was to bring as many women into your household as you could so that they wouldn't be like ostracized from society for not having a man take care of them. My response to that is basically like, okay, but now if it was, because like human population distribution is naturally about 50-50 men to women. So if you do multiple women for one man, what you are now setting up is a system where if one man gets kicked in the head by his donkey one day and dies, there are now potentially dozens of women who are now outcasts of society because they no longer have a man taking care of them. Whereas if it was one man and one woman, the worst that could happen is like the man and however many daughters he might have with his one wife, which is significantly less than if it's King Solomon with his 300 wives and 700 concubines or whatever it is.
That just means if we kill the one man, it's more for me, or some weird shit.
Rosina says marriage is solely about transferring property rights. Yeah, that sounds like the take from someone who would say monogamy is slavery. Is that you, Rosina? Not judging you if you do. But yeah, no, especially in ancient Israel, is in the case of property rights there, it was literally the right to the woman. It was like the man was selling his daughter to her husband. And that's the whole point of the dowry and everything. And even in modern culture, marriage, a lot of like what marriage actually functionally does is give you property rights. So like if you are married, your spouse has rights to your property when you die and your estate when you die and stuff like that. So like, yeah, it means different things now than it did back then, but it kind of still is just about property rights. I mean, there is more to it than that, and there's more than just property rights. There's also like hospital visitation and shit, but
everybody in my chat is currently talking about making monsters their wives and fucking monsters like death claws.
That sounds like your audience,
up.
yeah.
I give up. I made this monster.
I feel like you've made your bed, now it's time to sleep in it.
According to my audience, I've made my bed and it's time to sleep with it.
I mean, JD Vance would. He sleeps on the couch.
No, that's not what intersectionality means.
Oh, God. Okay, so Wendell retweeted, Seth Andrews posted this, God saying 1, make universe, 2, give Steve a tumor, 3, and Wendell retweeted this saying, tumors are the result of the fallen world. But
Stop talking about fucking death claws, you weirdos. They would rip you in half. Oh, God damn it, most of you are into that.
Is that directed at your audience?
Yes.
Okay. But God is making all of creation new, and soon there will be no more sickness or death for those in Christ. Okay, now fallen world is just a cop-out for these people. Like, how does that make sense? How does Adam eating an apple translate into now tumors are a thing that happens? And yes, I know it's not literally an apple. You know what I mean?
Well, Growlithe just knocked over one of my lights.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, Growlithe knocked over one of my studio lights.
Okay, but as long as we're
no
distracted,
weird metaphors this time.
As long as we're distracted, though, I am just going to point out. Okay, showing this on stream might be a little bit.
Might be much.
Well, it's questionable. People stream this game though, so it's not. Okay, I might have to find a video for this.
While you do that, I'm going to let Growlithe out because she thinks it's time, even though it's 45 minutes past time. Come on.
Okay. What monster girls would attract Rhino? What monster girls do you think I'd be attracted to, honey? Are you a monster girl? Well, she can be a monster girl. Mom in the streets, monster in the sheets. Fallen world absolves God of all responsibility. Yeah. Like these, it's a cop-out. It's a complete cop-out. Like they'll say like, it's either free will or it's a fallen world. And yeah, they do often retreat back to, oh yeah, and also he will use the bad thing to make a greater good come about, which is objectively not the case according to the Bible, because Jesus says more people can go to hell than heaven. Therefore, the end result of God's plan is that more, like, there will be a net greater amount of suffering than pleasure in the universe.
Come on, the faithful. Wait, what?
Okay. So
Hi.
you guys talking about monsters and fucking monsters and everything, it reminded me. So I am currently playing through Nine Souls. I'm at the end of the game. I haven't beat the last boss yet, but I have played through the whole thing. And there have been a number of boss fights where the backgrounds have been questionable, shall we say? Like, there's one where there's like, it's a party and there's like sexy dancing cat girls in the background as you're fighting. And then there's one level that is this. Like, I don't know what that is, but it looks like a vagina with ears, with cat ears.
I don't know what that is, but
it's a vagina with cat ears.
Do I want to put my dick in it? I don't know.
It opens up bigger as the fight goes on.
Okay, yeah, I want to put my dick in it.
Yeah, let's see. Where's its final form? It turns into a butterfly vagina. A butterfly crawls out of the vagina.
Never mind. Don't want to put my dick in it anymore. I think I'm good.
See, I knew there's going to be like one of two reactions there.
There's going to be a line.
Butterfly is going to be, I want to put it in more now, or nope, that's the end of the road.
I do not need a butterfly crawling up my urethra.
But I'm just like, as I'm playing it, I'm just like, okay, it's becoming more and more clear that whoever made this game is just really into cat girls.
Also, apparently, I don't have a choice, but Dr. Apple Pie decided that my...
Cute Dark Arts, or Stoff says, Rhino, tell Cirrus to get his redeems, please.
No, I don't want to fuck.
You don't want to fuck?
Jesus Christ. No, not really. Not now. Not any of you.
Oh, I'm hurt.
No, you're Rhino. There's a difference. Oh, whoa. See, the automatic thing did it for me.
No, it didn't. Do it. Do it. Do it. I'm not saying another word till you do it.
You already said another word, though. You did just then. Oh, well.
There we go.
There.
I will sit here and kill this stream and just sit here in silence until all the viewers go away.
There were two back-to-back oh-woes as well, so at least somebody's on the right side of history.
Rosina says, did you see how quickly they Rule 34'd the Catholics loose mascot? I had heard about that. Yes, I haven't seen the pictures. I'm not surprised. Yeah. Wendell also posts this meme, says, I ask a Christian to provide the evidence. The Christian supplies the evidence. I say that is not evidence. They ask me why that is not evidence. Like, oftentimes we can explain. No. So we can explain why things aren't evidence.
Sylvie Snow also made me redeem another you fucking degenerate.
Yeah.
Made me do those words in Rhino's ears.
That's okay. I'm okay with that. I like it when Cirrus is angry. But also, like, Wendell...
You like hate fucking, don't you?
I've never done it. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Wendell made this himself. And he doesn't understand the format of this meme. Because, like, the last two are supposed to say the same thing. And it's, like, that's... what's supposed to be funny about this meme is that, like, oh, I thought it was a good thing, but then, oh, no, whatever. But, like, if you change the paper between the last two, then that doesn't work with this meme format. So, like, an attempt...
Maybe he should get an actual fellow kid to hello fellow kids for him.
Yeah, an attempt was made. Not a very good one, but it was an attempt. Yeah, Lord of Uzkalak is pointing out, same thing, that's not how this meme works. Yeah, I love it when people misuse the memes. We must seize the memes of production. That's the last one. So we done. Oh,
We are
I closed
done.
that window and I got cat lady vagina in the face.
I think you're
So,
okay with that.
no, because I don't see.
Yeah, you don't see because the cat lady vagina's in your face.
No, but
Duh.
just the way this is, like, it confuses me anatomically. Like, is this supposed to be a head?
It looks like
Somehow,
something coming
like,
out of the back of the head, like a
yeah,
brain.
but like it's got ears, but then there's legs coming down here. But then these legs kind of turn into arms because like the dead cats are like hanging off of fingers. Like those are very hand shaped type things. You can't really see it on the zoomed in thing, but so it's like just anatomically, this is just a mess. But like that's kind of the point of this game, is that a lot of things get anatomically messed up. Like it is surprisingly grotesque for a game with such cute art. Like all of the art is like cutesy, but like it's gory at the same time. It's weird.
Sounds like my kind of game.
Have you played it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you should give it a go. It's one of those things that it kind of gets me annoyed when, like, you know, like there are roguelike games and Souls-like games and like they use other games. So this is one of those games where, like, if you die, you lose all your money, but you can get it back if you kill the last person that killed you.
It's a Shovel Knight then.
Sure, but like, so when I first played it through, I'm like, okay, maybe there's a bank system, because sometimes in games like that, there's a bank system where if you put your money in the bank before you die, it doesn't matter that you died twice, you can go back to the bank and get your money out. So I'm like, okay, is there something like that in this game? And all of the fucking answers when other people were asking similar questions were just like assholes on Reddit being like, that's not how Souls-like games work. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't even know what a Souls-like game fucking is. I just want to know if there's a bank in this game. That doesn't answer my question. Is the answer no? Then just say fucking no. So like, yeah, I just wish games could just be judged as what they are, not as like, oh, this is a game like this other game that you've never played. It's like, I've never played any of the Souls games, so I don't know what a Souls-like game is.
I think the problem is that for a lot of video games, they were made in an environment where we did not have a previous descriptor to work on something for. So like if I make a movie, the genre of the movie is not too far off from the genre of a book. A horror movie, a horror book, suspense, thriller, like all of these things, these genres, they work as categories for those mediums. But for video games, we tend to struggle a little bit. So like Mario's a platformer because he jumps on platforms. That's fair. Turok is a first-person shooter because you're in first person and you are shooting people. But Overwatch is a first-person shooter, but the focus isn't being in first person or shooting. It's the multiplayer aspect. So it's a multiplayer online battle arena. But what happens when you have a game? What happens when you have a game that's very esoteric in terms of what it is? We can't just describe it based on the couple things it does that we know it does, because those couple things are very specific to its genre. So then we get,
it's a death takes your money genre.
This is a Castlevania-like, which is like a Metroid. So it's a Metroidvania. Shantae is a Metroidvania. What is a Souls-like? Well, it's a game that's incredibly difficult, very rewarding, and takes your shit when you die.
That's the thing, though. Like, so when I'm picturing a type of game, like, I would describe Nine Souls as a platformer. Mostly. It's like you're running around on platforms. It's like 2D side-scrolling platformer type of thing. I know, like, I've never played any of the Souls games. I know what they look like. They do not look like this. They don't look anything like this. So when I hear Souls-like, I'm picturing, like, really dark, gritty, realistic 3D. You're running around.
No, Crab Game's a Souls-like, and it's, like, completely and totally fruit-colored.
Wait, which game?
I think it's called Crab Game, but the
okay, but my point is the Souls games are that dark, gritty, three-dimensional wandering around like as a knight swinging a sword, whatever. So like the mechanics aren't even the same. I would not control this character anywhere near the same as I would control the character in a Souls game. So why is this a Souls-like game when the control scheme isn't even close to being the same?
How does the game play?
Like a platformer.
Well, yes, but like, Hollow Knight plays like a platformer, and it's not.
I mean, In Hollow Knight, if you die and then don't recover your shade or whatever, if you die twice in a row without recovering your stuff first, you lose all your money. But that they don't tell me that that's because it's a Souls-like. And people describe Hollow Knight as very difficult.
I'd have to. Well, the problem is Hollow Knight already has a game style that it's emulating, and that's Metroidvania. That's the reason they don't describe it as a Souls-like, is that it's already taking the Metroidvania formula.
This is, yeah, but this hits the Metroidvania formula. Like, it's a side-scrolling platformer where you get, like, the double jump ability and the wall cling ability. Well, no, the wall cling is only special walls. You don't get that. But, like, there are abilities that are typical to that style of game that are in this game. That's how the game mechanically works. I don't think that's how the Souls games work. Do you get the double jump in Dark Souls?
Nope.
Do you get a wall climb ability? Do you get like a charged attack?
Charged attack depends on your weapon.
Yeah, no, but like no. That's so why is this a Souls game? Souls.
What is the game called again?
Nine Souls. It's SOLS. So like the son is named Saul. Maybe it's the Souls like because it's got the word souls in it.
Let me see here.
Okay, people in my chat are. Oh yeah, apparently my Twitch stream is registered as me playing Fortnite because that's what we did last week. Midnight Lilac 9 says better than Nine Souls. All about the feet. Depends if you're into that. Okay. Well, you are looking up whatever the fuck you are looking up. I'm going to see if I can maybe change my Twitch thing to be just chatting. No, that's just the title.
So it's being described as a Metroidvania in the video that I'm watching right now.
Okay.
Then
why were all the fucking people on Reddit saying it's a Souls-like? That's why you lose your money.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'm mad at Reddit. This is irrelevant, and it doesn't matter at all. It's just one of those like. If you're describing a game to me based on other games that I have not played, that doesn't actually help with the description, is my point.
I understand why it's called that. Okay.
Because the bosses are really big and hard?
It's both. It is designed to be both. The developers and reviewers have noted that it is a blend of Hollow Knight and Sekiro. And Sekiro is just a Souls-like game with samurai. That's what it's going for. It has the aspects of both cleanly because it is trying to be both of those things.
Okay. But my point is that saying it's a Souls-like is not a valid answer to the question, why do I, like, is there a way for me to not lose my money?
I guess it's the same reason why you're playing an FPS is a valid answer to why can't I zoom out past my character's head. I guess
yeah,
that's
but
what
in
they're
that
going
case,
for.
in that case, the answer is literally in the definition of what first person means, and that it, like that one actually makes sense. It's like, why can't I zoom out? Because it's a first person shooter, so it's in first person, so that's why you can't zoom out. Whereas this, like, Souls-like does not definitionally contain words that mean you lose all your money.
Right, but now we're at the reason why the girls can't join the Boy Scouts is because Ben Shapiro said so thing. I think it's
that
like
kind of supports my point here, in that the label doesn't fucking matter, just answer the goddamn question.
Well, no, I agree with you there. I'm saying that this is a problem that video games have had because of how their genres developed. We didn't develop our genres off of narrative the way that movies did. We developed our genres based off of vibes, like literally just off of vibes.
Yeah, I can see that, but I mean, like, you could do the same thing for video games. Like, Nine Souls could be called a thriller horror video game.
Well, yeah, but
there's a lot of body horror in it.
If it's a thriller horror video game, that is the aesthetics of the game, but with gameplay. With games, the biggest thing about them is not their aesthetics. The biggest thing about them is how they play. So,
yeah, also, if it was described as thriller horror, I probably never would have picked it up.
Like if
I
it's a
did,
thriller
I
horror
had no,
game,
like, just from the pictures I had seen of other people playing it and stuff, I had no idea the amount of gore that was going to be in this game.
oh, Sarah Chikorita also pointed out that like the original name that we used for first person shooters wasn't actually first person shooters; it was Doom Clone. We used to just call them all Doom clones. Like this is a problem that games have grown up with, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we need to do better. Okay, I think that's we've talked about this long enough. I think it's time to end the stream.
Never long enough, but
Never
sure.
long enough. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. Are you streaming after this?
It's 11:02. Maybe for a little bit.
Okay, I will raid you with all my people that are probably already in your audience.
Okay,
Or should I raid someone else?
that's entirely up to you.
I don't know. Chat, who should I raid? Search and filter. No, sort by... How about someone that I follow? How do you do that? Where is that? Oh yeah, there we go. Following. Quick filters. Ah, Necosaurus is streaming.
Weird. Who the fuck's that?
Ah, fucking Elijah from Linus Tech Tip is streaming. Let's do that. We're doing Elijah.
Okay.
Okay. See you later.
See ya.